Hello everybody. So I'm here today with a review of Rebecca by Daphne DuMaurier, and I mentioned having read this book with Chelsey from Chelsandabook, and I've had this book on my shelves for many, many years. I had a really disgusting, romancy, harlequin looking trade paperback, and so I finally actually upgraded to something that is more pleasant to read and hold, and I absolutely adored this book. I started reading it. It was very easy to sink into. I really, really enjoyed DuMaurier's writing. I really enjoyed her language. This was written in the 1930s, so it actually does have a very universal kind of contemporary feel about it. So I think it's a great one for an audience of people who maybe are not as into classics. Chelsey had said that she was a little bit hesitant to read classics, but she fell into this one very easily, as I did, and I read it super, super fast. So it is about a young woman who is nameless. She is working as a companion to a horrible, rich, snotty woman in Monte Carlo, and it's there that she meets Maxim de Winter, who is very well off Englishman. He owns a beautiful estate called Manderley, and the opening line of this book is probably the most famous, one of the most famous ever, and it's "Last night I dreamt I went back to Manderley again." And yeah, I went to Manderley again. I was making sure I said it right. But yeah, it's really a cool book. It has a very gothic, kind of ominous feeling to it. It's wonderful for like autumn, Halloween-y type reads. Over the years, from what I'd heard about it, I assumed there would be some straightforward kind of gothic supernatural element, but there really wasn't. When the young woman goes back to Manderley and she begins to meet all of the folks who live and work on the estate, including the very mysterious and imposing Mrs. Danvers, who is the housekeeper, she begins to get a picture of what Maxim's first wife, Rebecca, was like. And Rebecca was beautiful, she was great at everything, and our protagonist really begins to kind of blow up and compare Rebecca's reputation to her own. She feels mousy, she feels undeserving, awkward, just not really good at society things that she feels like she's expected to do. And so throughout this book, the mystery and mystique of Rebecca sort of unfold, and what she was really like, and what her relationship was like with Maxim, and what her relationship was like with Mrs. Danvers as well. And so there's just a lot of twists and turns and really, really good kind of dark mystery in this book. And it actually, the biggest surprise for me was the fact that it extended further than I thought it would. I got to the point at which I thought would be the climax for the book, and there was still quite a bit of book left. And so DuMaurier really left me wanting more, and I was absolutely enraptured right till the end. And there have been a lot of comparisons between this book and between Jane Eyre, and I am reading Jane Eyre now, and so it is interesting to see what they have in common, what DuMaurier might have been thinking and comparing as she wrote this book. And Chelsey mentioned that DuMaurier herself was a really interesting person. I haven't read a whole lot about her. There wasn't a ton about her in my edition of the book, so I will definitely be looking up more biographical details about her, as well as reading other books of hers. I want to read Jamaica Inn very soon, as well as My Cousin Rachel. So thank you to Chelsey for reading this with me. I had a great time, and I hope you all will read and love this book if you have not already. Bye.